I don't know. Get yourself a Nikola Tesla biography. They're great. Do that. Otherwise, I'm gonna spend the entire afternoon in my room looking for a book. Um, Andrew Stewart, Houston. When you still played baseball, were a lot of people using steroids? Not on any of the teams I was on. Um, it was mostly people that were in the minors, looking to get to the majors, and people in the majors looking to up their game. It seems like were the ones using lots of steroids. Uh, this was like when I was playing college ball. Was a couple years after McGuire and Sosa had set the records, right, for most home runs in the season. What year was that? That was uh, that was 98. Yeah, 1998. So that was my junior year of high school when McGuire hit 70 home runs, and like he'd be interviewed on TV, and there'd be a bottle of anabolic steroids on the shelf in his locker. Right? These guys were roiding out like crazy. I remember a story about Ruben Sierra. So he's part of the Bash Brothers in the late '90s. I'm sorry, late '80s, early '90s in Oakland. So it was Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Ruben Sierra, and I can't remember which season it was 91, 92 season. Ruben Sierra during the offseason had gotten so buff and so huge that his pecs and his biceps were so big he actually couldn't put his hands together to hold a baseball bat. Right? Like, how are you going to play baseball if you can't hold a bat because you can't touch your fingers together because your biceps and your pecs are so big? So basically, he spent a good chunk of that season deflating because he had steroided out so much. All those guys were steroiding like crazy. That's the era when Ben Johnson crushed the world record at the Seoul Olympics, and it was discovered he was using steroids. Everyone was like, "Oh, steroids!" And it wasn't much before that people realized you could work out and become a better baseball player. It had not occurred to people. Carlton Fisk, he was like a 40-year-old catcher, I think, with the White Sox in the late '80s, and he actually had to have the team ship a weight set to all the different stadiums that they played at around the country during the season because there weren't gyms, there was no workout facility, no one lifted weights, and so all of a sudden, the late '80s Oakland A's showed that you could go to the gym and get yoked, and anything that would be like a grounder all of a sudden was a home run. And then they started to fine tune it and getting better and better steroids, better workout regimens. And you got dudes like Barry Bonds, Balco and the Clear and all those things that they were injecting, and it just got freaky to another level. I wouldn't doubt there's still guys juicing, um, but I don't think I ever played with people good enough to go, you know what? If I just juiced a little bit, I'd go to the next level. Like everybody, you know, they were they're like, hey, I like playing baseball. I enjoy this. It's good enough to get a scholarship, whatever, but no one's gonna draft me. Yeah, that's kind of where they were. Um, yeah. So I don't think anyone I played with was like buff enough to maybe like, oh, you might be juicing. Uh, they just they just weren't.